Well, it's pretty cool, and it's something that, frankly, I have just learned about in the last probably 12 months. So to be able to bring that element to the screen and be able to have people go, okay, hey, where can I get a little bit more of this, and go check out some podcasts, because to me, the beautiful thing about podcasting is simply that you can listen to it anytime you want. You can enjoy it whenever you want, and you get to something, you got to go do something else, you can pause it and pick it right back up where you ended it. So that is something that I found to be really pretty damn cool in that respect, because we're doing 3-hour shows. And people listen to us, they have a 30-minute commute to work, and they can listen to us all week long and get a show until we're ready to drop another one. But you can listen. There's so much variety out there, and there's a lot of great podcasts out there that I share with, that guys I talk to all the time, and I think it's a great medium.
No, it's awesome, and everybody does something different. I mean, we just stick to straight interviews. We don't do any real current talk. We like to get the career stories out there and kind of dig deep. But with you guys, you do something that has now changed the podcast world in another realm, is that you guys examine an event, or you pick a person and you really just spend that 3 hours on that. And I think that that's very cool. And that has now started a trend of people doing the same thing. Have you noticed that you guys really have been trendsetters with this emphasis on one singular event or one singular topic, rather than just be like a hodgepodge, on one show?
Well, the crazy thing about it is you bring that up and say, oh, hey, it's trend setting, all this. Strictly came out of laziness on my part. I did not want to try and chase down 52 guests a year. And my co-host was like, yeah, we don't have to do that, man. We can just pick a period and you talk about it. So that's what we've done, and so many of my conversations with people would always start with, hey, what happened when? And they'd give me an example of something, and I would then start telling stories, and that's how the idea of the podcast even came up. So, yeah, different people are doing it. I think that the unique aspect of our show is that there's really not that many people who have been at the right hand of Vince McMahon for 22-plus years and been involved in that mix and, that perspective for as long as I did. And then beyond that, the years that I spent before I even went to New York with Paul Bosch and Bill Watts and the greats of the wrestling business, being able to sit under the learning tree, if you will, just kind of gives a little bit different perspective, and there's not a lot of people that have shared that. And there are some folks that have other perspectives in different companies and done different things that I think that if they were to come out and share those stories would be gold.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned Paul Bosch, you mentioned Bill Watts, obviously Vince McMahon, the eras. You want to talk about the Federation era, the Attitude era, the New Generation, the Ruthless Aggression era. I mean, you were there for everything, for 25 years, right there, front row seat, on-air character, backstage worker, creative writer. I mean, every single thing you could think of, you were there for. And doing this show and picking out these topics, has there been one thing that you were kind of surprised that people wanted to hear more about? Because you guys pick a lot of iconic events, and I love when there's one of those doozies thrown in, those little nuances that maybe the more hardcore fans think of. But has there been one topic that you were surprised the fans took to as much as they did?
Houston wrestling. To be able to go back and tell my story of breaking into the wrestling business and be able to talk about growing up in the wrestling business as a kid and the different experiences and personalities that I was exposed to was simply something that I selfishly wanted to get out, but I didn't really fathom the number of people that would be that interested in it. And it's turned out to be one of our most downloaded shows and one that we get the majority of the comments on. And it's spawned off some really incredible things that I'll be able to talk to at a later date as well. But it's that part really kind of blew me away, that people were that interested in my background and that interested in the nostalgia of the wrestling business the way it was in the territory days.